But we do have a defender of freedom and the Constitution in Washington, D.C., who knows more about the Constitution in 2 minutes than a senator like Dianne Feinstein knows in her entire life. And I'm talking about newly elected senator. And that label, that label will go away very soon. But he is the man right now. Ted Cruz is joining us on News Talk 550 KTSA. Senator, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Good morning, Trey. It's great to be with you.
I got to say, first of all, on behalf of a whole lot of folks, thank you so much for standing up for the Constitution and defending the Constitution of the United States.
Well, thank you, Trey. It is a real privilege to serve, particularly right now when the challenges are so grave. I got to tell you, Washington, D.C. is a strange place. They are very, very surprised when someone actually goes there and does what he said he would do.
Well, they certainly are. They've been caught off guard by you. They don't know how to. They don't know how to act. The only comeback that somebody like Dianne Feinstein has is, "I'm not a sixth grader."
Well, she said something in that exchange that I think was very revealing, which is when I asked her about the basis in the Constitution for her law that would restrict our Second Amendment rights, she did not have an answer to that. In fact, for a long time, she refused to answer at all. And she said, our job in Congress is to pass laws, and then the courts tell us if they're constitutional. And, that response, I think, Trey, sums up an awful lot of the problem we have in Washington right now, which is for many, many years, politicians in both parties have not even bothered to look at the Constitution. They've just charged ahead, taking away our rights and drawing more and more power into Washington. And that's what's gotten us to the mess we're in now. That's why we have a $16.5 trillion debt, because so many Washington politicians just think their job is to pass laws and to grow the federal government without even looking at the Constitution for a source of authority to do so.
I want to get into gun control and talk about the possible filibuster with you coming up. But first, I want to talk about the Medicaid roundtable that you're having today with Governor Perry. This is essential because they're trying to turn Texas at least purple, and they'd love for Texas to go all the way blue at some point. Why they want to make us more like California and New York, I have no idea. But if this goes through, if they expand Medicaid here, it'll be a big victory for the left.
It would. I have to say Governor Perry had a very good quote a few weeks ago on the Democrats' plan to turn Texas blue. He said, the University of Texas will sooner change their colors to maroon and white than Texas will turn blue.
Well, that's a good quote, but, I'd hate to find that Republicans and conservatives in Texas would be complacent at all.
I agree, and it's the reason why I am on my way to Austin right now. John Cornyn's on his way to Austin right now, and the two of us are going to sit down with Rick Perry at 9:30 this morning for a round table and then a press conference on the harms to the state of opting into Obamacare's massive expansion of Medicaid. And then we're going to talk through the impact that would come. The Supreme Court, in their decision, unfortunately, upholding Obamacare, did have one significant positive element in it, in that they said that it was unconstitutional for Obamacare to force states to expand Medicaid, that instead states had to have the option to either participate or not. And Governor Perry has taken a principled stand, saying Texas is not going to opt into this massive expansion of Medicaid that would put enormous financial pressures on the state. And I think he's doing the right thing, and that's why I'm glad to stand with him this morning.
What do you think is the biggest challenge to have to fight back that assault on the expansion of Medicaid?
Well, the way Obamacare is structured, it's a little bit like a bait-and-switch program that's designed to get you hooked.
Yeah.
Because it provides a whole bunch of federal money for states to make this expansion. And so the argument that people make in the state legislatures is, gosh, this is free money. How can we turn down all this free money from the federal government? And my response to that is, number one, it's not free money, it's our money that they're spending, and we shouldn't be complicit in digging the federal hole yet deeper, digging the federal debt yet deeper that our kids and grandkids are going to have to pay down. But number two, the way Obamacare is structured, the first few years it's free money, and then the federal share of the dollars goes down and down and down, and it will become a bigger and bigger part of the state budget. So if Texas did, as some other states are doing, and signed on to the expansion of Medicaid, what we would see is Medicaid growing even faster than it is now as a percentage of the state budget and crowding out every other priority. So if you think it's important for the state to keep spending on public education, you should be glad that Texas isn't signing on to this Medicaid expansion. If you want to ensure that we have state funds to provide for our prisons and law enforcement to incarcerate violent criminals and keep them off the streets, you should be glad we're not signing up for this Medicaid expansion, because every state that does so in a few years is going to be regretting it mightily, because the pressure is going to crowd out just about every other priority on the budget.
Well, what liberals are doing to us right now is unconscionable. We can't pay our bills right now, and they want to drive us deeper and deeper into debt. Senator, I will let you go. I know you're on a tight schedule. I hope you'll come back very soon, spend some more